got one last thing. I know I've been chatting for a bit, but one last thing, and I'll let James go to the toilet and all of that.
You're the
ghost. Question after this.
You're the ghost right now because I don't get to see you, so you're just the voice. That's what
I know it's my camera's broke. This is James's laptop camera that he's provided me. So
thanks, James. Thanks, James.
Okay, so all of the stuff that we've just talked about, the over-leveraging of private equity, the effects of the fundamental-driven rise in price of GameStop on those private equity firms and the short hedge funds that are colluding with them, the cascading effect of closing those short positions. Here's my thing, is that for that level of leverage to be the case, I don't understand how the short position can't be higher than the 25 to 30% kind of reporting.
Well, the question is, why is GameStop short percentage not reported as high as it should be calculated? Because of what people think, like even myself, where we say, hey, the shorts never closed. And then, of course, to dwarf all these private equity firms or short hedge funds that are on the opposite side of the trade. It wouldn't be that much if it was only 30 million or 30%, I'm sorry. Only 60 million shares, Marantz, it's not a big deal. And I would tell you it's a massive deal, because what if they shorted at $3, at $5, at $10? We're well beyond that right now. If you know the price of GameStop today, it was trading at $17, but that's 4x because of the split. So you're looking at over $60 a share. They're negative $50 a share right now for the ones that didn't close. And if you're negative $50 a share and there's 1 million shares or 2 million shares you're short about 100 million. And you would tell yourself 100 million is nothing. That's an easy leverage. Well, when the price starts going up again and it's $40 a share, now you're looking at $160. Now you're short a couple of $100 million. But as the price keeps going up and keep going up and keep going up, and your collateral keeps coming down and down and down, at some point, there's a breaking point. And as GameStop keeps going up and their collateral keeps coming down, it can explode and it can take off. And that's the infinite risk part. That's where they actually lose every ounce of what they have. And yeah, some people are over leveraged, and it's going to be that, because when you have price discovery, you have FOMO setting in, and you have short sellers buying back in. Can you imagine trying to catch a stock that's $200 a share and you bought it for $5? You can't catch it, and it's going to happen that way. So they're going to be short a couple of $1 billion. But remember, the key investors for these hedge funds are the ultra wealthy, are the pension. They have to return that money at some point. So how long do you want to play this out? Baby boomers are, unfortunately, they're dying every day. So those funds need to show up somehow, some way. People are retiring and they need their money. You don't have the money. You don't have the money because you can't close that position. I know it, you know it. And that's what's happening. There was volume on GameStop 2 weeks ago. Had 60 million shares traded back and forth for the first time in like 2 years. The price went from $11 all the way up to $18. It went up $7 in one day. That's a problem for people. Can you imagine it just going up and up and up and up and then holding? You got a problem.
Why? Oh, sorry, Eyes, are you going to say something?
You asked a question.
Yeah,
I'll let Marantz. I'm hurting so bad.
You're doing all right.
And I'm really sick. I promise you I'm sick, but I'm doing my best.
No, it's still good, man. I appreciate. Sorry, but yeah, Jesus. You're doing great. Yeah, I was gonna say, why wouldn't then, if this was such a huge, like, if we got this situation that's happening, why wouldn't you start to see then those who are over leveraged, either through their short positions or whatever it might be, take up a long position in GameStop anyway? Like, surely that would be the most effective strategy in a scenario like this.
Oh, they don't lose. I mean, for a hedge fund to admit defeat and start taking up long positions in GameStop, one, they have to report. There's a 13F filing that'll show you what they bought in, and you start seeing these short hedge funds going long. It's like the last one to the party gets caught, and so everyone's in on this. And I've seen it. That's how I've been doing the homework on it. And they all seem to be on the same side. It's longs versus shorts. It's an ultimate game. And so we'll see. But Ryan Cohen's betting on himself. Ryan Cohen is the long here. Ryan Cohen's in on 36 million shares. He owns 12% of the company. So they know that they can beat Ryan, then they win. Well, you can't beat him. He's a rich kid. He's a rich kid. He's got a lot of collateral. He's got Apple shares, over $1 billion with Apple shares right now. He has GameStop shares that have been almost worth $2 billion at a time. And if he runs his company correctly and fundamentally sound, they can do nothing. They will lose. And that's what I'm betting on.
I think the last question I wanted to ask, kind of circling back, but I think it's kind of a big point for me is, again, this question around the buy button and the stopping of it. Because when I asked you about it, you kind of said that you were in agreement with the official explanation. The official explanation essentially boiled it down to, look, Robinhood has this business model where essentially they are kind of upfronting the money before it even gets into their pockets, and so therefore they were kind of in this situation where there was massive volatility and volume on a single stock that caused them to not be able to post collateral, right? That's the official explanation. But I'm trying to understand, because you mentioned that you believe there was an involvement with private equity, with hedge funds that are short, that it was their influence that led to the closing of that buy button, which to me doesn't seem like the official explanation. That's like an additional pointer in there. I just want to be clear on like where you stand on what happened with the buy orders being shut off on some of these brokerages, like brokerage apps. What exactly happened?
Yeah, so from what we can see, what's been reported, why the buy button got shut down, and what was reported, and I said I accept their explanation as in to say numerous hedge funds were overextended, billions of dollars. It wasn't just Robinhood. Robinhood was the one they put in front of you. But there was another one that was 50 times more than Robinhood. Intersect, I can't remember the name right now, but you can look it up. And there's actually a video out there somewhere about it. But when I say that GameStop and the explanation of the shorts being closed and or the buy button being taken away and how private equity has an influence on that, I would just tell you everything private equity does is not seen. They're behind the scenes of it all. They want no connection whatsoever. This is why they have independent directors get hired for certain things. But when you look at Citadel and everyone wants to put the focus on King Griffin, that tells me a lot. That private equity owns media. Okay? Media automatically puts GameStop and AMC together to everyone. Additionally, they put Robinhood and King Griffin out in front of you. Every article, every video, everything. I tell you, ignore it all. Ignore it all. I don't think it's King Griffin at all. When King Griffin sits there and he tells you, I don't know what these guys are talking about, why they keep naming me, why they're after me, because it's one thing to run the market. It's another thing to actually make the bet itself. You'd be imagine what the influence is. So when I read the GameStop report from the Financial House Committee, I read it in detail. I read it line by line. And it tells you, it's this, it's that. Well, that's the explanation they want to give you. But you know what tells me totally different? It doesn't tell me that it's Citadel. It doesn't tell me that it's Robinhood. Private equity tells me everything I need to know because I followed the dots to what happened at Caesar's Palace, what happened at Bed Bath & Beyond, what happened at AMC. That was private equity. So when you're pushing, I give you this example, James, just a long drawn out way. When the information is being pushed, it's not private equity, it's Citadel and Robinhood. That has nothing to do with Adam Aaron. Yet Adam Aaron was deployed in front of you, in front of America, to get them to invest in his company. And he used APE as a moniker. He used, we're going to partner up with GameStop. We're going to give you free NFTs. That's private equity though. He is private equity. How else does he get in front of the TV? How about the YouTubers that he interacts with get in front of the TV? Tara Bull, Matthew Kors, Entry Trades, all get pushed out in front of you. And you're like, what? How did this happen? Private equity. They're on the other side of the plate. You got to see well beyond the forest through the trees. You got to see through it. But I already do. And I know exactly what I'm looking at.
But again, I just really want to hone in on this.
Sure.
When it comes to that buy button being shut off, whether on Robinhood or on other apps, you are saying that what happened was there was some form of pressure, some kind of effort on the end of either private equity or short hedge funds, basically telling these brokerage apps, you need to shut it off because we're the ones that are going to lose our asses.
My opinion, when the buy button got shut off, it was absolutely influenced by short sellers and the private equity firms. And that's been proven in the GameStop report itself by the Financial House Committee. And that's 100%.
Got you. Okay, cool. I think.
I said my opinion and then I said 100%. I don't know. I mean,
you want to redo it?
Yeah, we can. We can do it one more time.
Yeah.
I got myself.
Do you want to give me the question, or are you ready to?
Yeah, you go. So, James, when the buy button got shut off by all multiple brokerages, whatever it may be, I felt that decision was influenced by private equity and the short sellers themselves, but that's two in the same. I feel they're making a bet on their own investments. So, yes, I think what was pushed out in front of you was all, I would tell you, a psy-op. Citadel being pushed out in front, Robinhood being pushed out in front. AMC, the investment itself, was pushed out in front of people, and we know what that's driven by. That's strictly driven by private equity. So, yeah, without a doubt, private equity has a huge influence on your information and the outcome of it.
Got you. Any closing thoughts on that, Ayers, before we take 5?
I think just for the record, briefly, can you explain what a psy-op is? And then let's take a break after that. But yeah, could you explain what a psy-op is?
Sure. So right now in the stock world where we're all investing and we're putting out information, I've seen the quote unquote psy-op would be, here's the next GameStop, and or here's what we should be investing in to trigger a short squeeze. They figured out that Wall Street Bets was being used as a vehicle to push out this information. They infiltrated Wall Street Bets and they bought them out, essentially. Private equity did. If you haven't looked at that deal as well, I talked about it. Additionally, you have other subreddits where they've pushed out information like Superstock, like AMC Meltdown, or AMC subreddit and the GME Meltdown. So everyone's putting out information, and the psy-op is this: you're going to buy the next thing. Forget about GameStop, right? That's the phrase. Forget about GameStop. Let's go into Mullen Automotive. Forget about GameStop. Let's go into Bed Bath & Beyond. So now they're using these theories of what could happen versus what will happen. And that's a psy-op play for me. The minute you put another stock connected with GameStop and or with Ryan Cohen, that's how they play you. And it's been happening for the last 3 years. And all I ever try to do is make a video, be like, stay focused, understand what we're looking at here. There's no partnership with other companies. There's no partnership with other YouTubers or failed ideas. No, GameStop is here. GameStop is making money at the till. It's transitioning, it's pivoting, and it's just running a better business. And that's what I'm invested in. That's what I focus on. But yeah, I see the psy-op play comes out where they put out misinformation and or other stocks in front of you. I mean, they'll even promote other YouTubers and they'll push out their channels to you. And it'll look like they have 1,000 viewers, and they really don't, because the interaction on text is not that. You know, the chat doesn't match the amount of people in it. And that's just part of it. Do I think it's bigger than with everything? Yeah. And do I believe this? Think about this real quick, James. And I know this is a long answer, but when you want to talk about psy-op for GameStop, think about it whenever you put up a tweet and you hashtag GME. It will not get nearly the traction that an AMC tag will. But an AMC tag will get you pushed out via bots, and it's fake interaction. And you know the fake interaction. And me as a YouTuber, I pay attention to so many analytical things and the comments, and I'm commenting back. When I make a video on AMC, it gets pushed out. It has so much traction. It's wow, I get 7,000 views, 5,000 views. I do a GameStop video, I get 1,000 views, 1,200 views, 1,500 views. So I have to find out, I'm not in it for that. I'm not in it to push out stuff so I can get more views. That's not the way it works for me. I could just say GameStop, AMC to the moon, Bed Bath & Beyond forever. I could do those things and I'd be an infinitely more successful YouTuber, but that's not what I'm doing. I push out the right information while that psy-op is being played onto people. That's why I say it that way. Misinformation, without a doubt.
Perfect. That's perfect. Are we also able to get you to do like a quick, almost like just a one-liner definition of psy-op? For like someone that wouldn't even know what it is in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, oh, psy-op is like a psychological operation where someone is infiltrating a community to pretend to be, something along those lines. If that
the biggest threat to the GameStop investment is the psy-op itself. The psy-op being misinformation, how individuals come in, they tell you one thing to push out a different narrative. And that is what's been being played on just common day people. They don't see it coming. So that's my definition of psy-op, is just misinformation and misdirection. And it's been happening.
Perfect. That was really good.